With money, prestige, and reputations on the line at every race, the compulsion to cross the line and cheat is a huge temptation, and in the past, it's proved too tempting for some. But one person stands above all for their history of pushing the limits more than everyone, leading to controversies, fires, deliberate crashes, and even a lifetime ban. That man is Flavio Briatore, and this video asks, is he Formula One's biggest cheat, or is he simply pushing the limits to find success? And if so, what does that mean now he's returned to F1? Make sure to subscribe to the channel to see more exciting Formula One videos like this. Who is Flavio Briatore? While he may be well known for his exploits in Formula One, Flavio was a hugely successful businessman, albeit not without controversy in the form of multiple fraud convictions before he entered the sport. He entered the sport originally as commercial director for Benetton. However, when the team management was fired soon after his arrival, Flavio stepped up to lead the team, applying the skills he'd learned outside of the sport, hiring the best professionals, and delegating key tasks with clear objectives to great effect. Outside of the sport, Flavio's life is just as eventful, having seen everything from his London home being bombed by the IRA, through to being engaged to supermodel Naomi Campbell, and having a child with Heidi Klum. You could say that Flavio is a busy guy. Controversy from the first title. The 1994 Formula One season will be remembered for many reasons, some good, some sad, and some for the controversy they brought. The season started with an FIA ban on electronic driver aids, things like traction control or power brakes, normal on a road car of today, to ensure that drivers' skill was the main factor in who would win. But that did not stop teams looking for an advantage, and from the very first race, Benetton was suspected of having an untoward advantage. Following the San Marino Grand Prix, Benetton was one of 3 teams asked to share their technical data with the FIA to prove that they had not been cheating, but they failed to meet the deadline and failed to comply. Following a $100,000 fine, close to $250,000 on today's Monday, Benetton finally handed over the information required. An investigation later showed the presence of a launch control system within their engine management system, a potential electronic driver aid, but there was no evidence that it had been used. Interesting. The FIA ultimately issued a statement, and the conclusion was that the best evidence is that Benetton Formula Limited was not using launch control. Whew, that was a close shave. The controversy didn't stop there, however, as things nearly took a deadly turn at that year's German Grand Prix. At a pit stop, an issue with the refueling rig meant that the Benetton car of Jos Verstappen was set on fire during refueling, as the fuel nozzle would not enter the car properly. Verstappen suffered minor burns, with 4 of the Benetton mechanics also burned. It was later found that the standardized refueling rig supplied to all teams had been modified to ensure that petrol could enter the car faster. Following a full investigation, however, the FIA cleared Benetton of cheating in this matter. But it is another example of the team pushing right to the limit. Race-fixing scandal. Crashgate 2008. Up to 2008 then, Flavio has proven that he's willing to push the rules to the limit. But always, even if by the finest of margins, stay on the right side of the rules. That, however, changed on the 28th of September 2008 at the Singapore Grand Prix when he ordered one of his drivers, Nelson Piquet Jr., of the team he now led, Renault, to deliberately crash to help fix the result of the race. The Singapore Grand Prix was held as Formula One's first ever night race. Renault was struggling that season, with Fernando Alonso and Nelson Piquet Jr. finding it difficult to compete against dominant teams like Ferrari and McLaren. The Singapore circuit was tight and twisty, making overtaking difficult, meaning race strategy was crucial. In qualifying, the team's lead driver, Fernando Alonso, only managed to achieve 15th place, significantly hurting his chances of winning the race. Under the leadership of Flavio Briatore, the Renault team devised a plan to benefit Alonso. The plan involved Piquet Jr. deliberately crashing his car at a specific point on the track to trigger a safety car period. On lap 14, after Alonso had already made an early pit stop, Piquet Jr. crashed at turn 17, a spot where recovery would be difficult, ensuring a prolonged caution period. As a result, the safety car was deployed, shuffling the order and benefiting Alonso, who was now among the frontrunners, while other drivers had to pit under less favorable conditions. With the strategic advantage gained from this manipulated incident, Alonso went on to win the race. At the time, the incident was considered an unfortunate accident, and no suspicions were raised. For a time, it must have felt like the plan had worked flawlessly, with the team receiving many plaudits for the victory, and the focus of attention being upon that year's World Championship fight between Lewis Hamilton and Felipe Massa. But the following year, that changed when Nelson Piquet Jr. was sacked from the team. Feeling betrayed and angered by his dismissal, Piquet Jr. disclosed that he had been ordered to crash deliberately under the instructions of Briatore. The FIA launched an immediate investigation, gathering telemetry data, radio communications, and testimony from team members. Their findings confirmed that the crash had been premeditated. The telemetry showed that Piquet Jr. had accelerated unusually during the crash instead of trying to avoid it, further incriminating the team. FIA's punishment and consequences. On September 21, 2009, the FIA handed down its verdict. Flavio Briatore was banned for life from all FIA-sanctioned motorsports. Renault F1 team was handed a suspended 2-year ban, meaning they would be permanently banned if they committed another major offense. Nelson Piquet Jr. was granted immunity for providing crucial testimony. Fernando Alonso was cleared of any wrongdoing, as there was no evidence. He was aware of the plan. However, Briatore later appealed his ban in a French court, which overturned it in 2010, ruling that the FIA had acted improperly in their handling of the case. This technically allowed Briatore something which he has now done, effectively taking back the leadership of the Alpine F1 team, which is the new name of the Renault team. Biggest cheat or pushing the limits. These controversies are merely the biggest that Flavio has been involved in across his time in motorsport. No matter how you view the incidents, it's clear that he is happy to look for every advantage available to both him and the teams that he leads. And with multiple drivers and constructors' world championships achieved, it's hard to knock the approach. Who's to know what advantage Flavio might have spotted for the 2025 season in the hope of driving his Alpine team up the grid after a disappointing 2024? All we know is that it will be exciting to watch it unfold. If you liked this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel to see more exciting Formula One videos like this.